Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're exposing a deeply concerning situation unfolding in one of the world's most famous cities. We're looking at the Paris Asylum racket. It's essentially an elaborate system actively trapping Nepali immigrants, and as you'll see, it is a stark, scary contrast between illusion and reality. Let's break down exactly how this modern form of exploitation actually operates.
It all starts with a hook, and honestly, it's a really deceptive one. Middlemen are using platforms like TikTok to lure vulnerable people, throwing out these glittering, totally fabricated promises like easy asylum in France or asylum in 1 year, then citizenship. For Nepali immigrants who are already working legally on seasonal visas in Eastern Europe, well, you can imagine, these lies act like a massive magnet.
And look at how they sell it. What's wild here is how the middlemen project this completely fake image of easy money. They post videos hanging out near the Eiffel Tower, the ultimate symbol of European prosperity, flashing cash and wearing luxury brands. But the reality? These brokers don't actually hold regular jobs. They literally make their entire living off this fraud, using the illusion of wealth to bait the trap.
The million rupee trap. 1.2 to 1.8 million rupees. Let that sink in for a second. That staggering number is the initial fee paid to agents just to get to Europe. It proves we're not talking about some small-time scam here. This is a highly lucrative criminal enterprise. Victims are draining their entire life savings or taking on massive, crushing debt for a ticket to what they think is a better life. They have absolutely no idea what's really waiting for them.
The smuggling route.
The journey itself is incredibly tense. It's a really dark reality. Worried migrants are literally smuggled across borders in the back of taxis and buses. They're taken via road routes from Eastern European countries, places like Austria, Greece, Croatia, and Romania, and driven straight into France. And just like that, they're pulled from their legal working statuses and arrive in Paris completely undocumented.
The broker's playbook. So how do they systematically squeeze their victims? It's a calculated, step-by-step business model. First, the online lure via TikTok. Then, the road smuggling. But once they hit Paris, the machine really kicks into high gear. Housing extortion, charging thousands for fake asylum documents, and finally, forced labor. It's perfectly designed to extract money at literally every single stage of the migrant's life.
Take housing, for example. Brokers force victims into specific apartments that the syndicate controls, massively overcharging them for rent. But it doesn't stop there. Scammers take huge commissions just to act as liaisons. They fabricate fake asylum narratives and forge documents. Every piece of paper, every single interview prep session comes with a huge hidden fee.
Trapped and exploited.
Now, we really need to slow down here, because the financial theft is just the start of the nightmare. Victims are essentially treated like milking cows. They're forced into cheap labor in places like local salons. Get this, if inspectors show up, they are instructed to pretend they're just clients. And on top of the constant extortion for fake legal fees, there's a much darker side. Vulnerable women, especially those arriving without local family ties, are the primary targets, facing horrifying reports of physical abuse by male brokers.
The crucial takeaway here is that these people are completely trapped. There is no way forward and absolutely no way back. They can't legally return to the jobs they left behind in Eastern Europe, and they can't just easily fly back to Nepal. Why? Because the brokers constantly hang the threat of deportation over their heads. They're forced into total, terrified compliance.
The deafening silence. Which leads us to a glaring question. Where is the community in all this? You'd think established Nepali organizations in Paris would step in, right? But there is a deafening absence of support. When victims are drowning in this exploitation, official organization phone numbers magically don't work, and desperate social media messages pleading for help go entirely unanswered.
As it turns out, that silence is incredibly strategic. Relatives and close associates of the scammers are actually embedded right within these local organizations. Key figures are pulling strings from behind the scenes. And even the community members who aren't involved, well, they stay quiet out of fear. Because they all live in the exact same community, a profound culture of silence has taken root, making it pretty much impossible for victims to find an ally.
And what happens when desperate families back in Nepal finally manage to track down these brokers or community leaders to ask what happened to their loved ones? The scammers give this chilling, totally dismissive response. We don't know them. That's it. They completely wash their hands of the very people they lured in, exploited, and trapped.
So, what is the true cost of this Paris dream? We've seen the massive financial theft, the cruel deception, and the systemic community silence that allows it all to happen. The permanent, devastating human toll of this exploitation is staggering. It's a stark reminder that we need to constantly question the glittering promises we see online. I'll leave you with that to think about, the harsh, hidden reality right behind the illusion.